Hey, this is Aaron.
And this is Kristin.
And this is the Drive Mode Show.
Welcome. Welcome to the pit.
Today we're gonna talk about a Traverse.
Yes.
Which is fun for me because for a long time this was my pick for family vehicle of choice. The big, 3-row Traverse is awesome. So, Kristin, you just had one. And
I did.
I can tell by the little hearts in your eyeballs, you were enamored.
Yes, I had the 2020 Chevrolet Traverse all-wheel drive High Country, which is the top of the line trim. And I did like it for a lot of reasons. I drove it between Austin and San Angelo. We're quarantined, and we go to, my in-laws have a cabin on their 8-acre property that we go to for the weekends. And so it's a quick 3-hour drive there, straight there, don't have to stop or anything. And it was such a comfortable drive. Even after 3 hours, I didn't have any kind of back pain. You know how sometimes you're driving a different vehicle and it just doesn't feel very good after a couple hours? I felt great.
And so with the Traverse, you have 3 rows. You have a usable 3-row, third row, which is unusual.
Yes.
Did you order Dunkin' Donuts on the My Chevrolet app on the screen?
I did not order
No.
Dunkin' Donuts. I did not know that was a thing.
It is a thing. We did that when we drove it from Chevy sponsored my family for an event, and we drove it from Denver up to Glenwood Springs, and then went and did all the fun stuff that there is in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and then back. And we used the I think it's Marketplace is what they call it, but it's part of the My Chevy app. And you use the Marketplace to order some Dunkin' Donuts, go to the drive-thru, they hand it to you, good to go. It's a very comfortable machine. So I think all of them are powered by a V6. I don't think there's a 4-cylinder anymore with this generation of the Traverse.
I think you're right.
This
was a V6.
Mm-hmm. And so with the High Country package, what kind of like posh highfalutin stuff is in that? Because it just sounds like it's got to have a lot of it.
Well, it has a lot of nice touches, a lot that you would expect, like the power seats, the leather trim, an 8-inch infotainment screen. Mm-hmm. It had an upgraded stereo system. Why do we keep doing that? Audio system, right? It had a 10-speaker audio system.
It's got hi-fi.
And it had a lot of the driver aids as well. What's that?
It's got hi-fi.
It's got hi-fi.
We're so 80s.
It sounds great. Well, one thing that I love about this Traverse in particular, is that it has all the audio controls on the steering wheel. So the volume's on this side behind your steering wheel, and you can change it by favorite on the left side, but also right on the front of the steering wheel, you can change it channel by channel through Sirius with the up and the down arrows.
Cool.
So it's great for me because I like to surf through lots of different channels. I'm never happy with just one. So I can go from hits 1 to 80s and scrolling up to 90s and to Y2K to to all the stations, and it's super easy to use. Mm-hmm. I liked the steering wheel controls a lot, and the cruise control was very easy to use. It snapped right into place, and it had great adaptive cruise control, which is standard on the High Country.
Nice. So what'd you feel about ride quality as far as just the, going down the road? What does it feel like?
It feels very comfortable. It feels smooth. It has a pretty nice, quiet ride. It has noise canceling in the cabin. And I thought it was really easy to hear people when I was talking on the phone. It was very clear. And I liked a lot of things about it. When I read some reviews, And the only real criticism I saw of it was that people felt that it didn't have as many posh, plush quality materials on the inside as one would expect at this price point. It starts at about $53,000. And I could see that in a couple places, but I did feel like it had everything that I needed. Mm-hmm. For the third row, as you said, it was very usable, and it also had electronic control. So it was easy to put them down. So we didn't use the third row for our drive across Texas. We put it down and put my son's bike in there, and then still had plenty of room for my suitcase, his duffel bag, 2 boxes of food. There was lots and lots of room. And one thing too that I like in the second row is that it has a 12-volt outlet. Wait, is that right? 110, sorry. Outlet that you can plug into and use a regular plug. So I could plug in my laptop for when we stopped, as well as the phone charger.
Right.
It had awesome Wi-Fi. In fact, the Wi-Fi in the Traverse was so good, it was better than the Wi-Fi at my in-laws' place. And so we drove it, we took it up to the Starbucks, got some through the drive-through, and we sat, and I had to upload a couple of video files. And the Wi-Fi was great quality.
That's become a GM thing, because pretty much across the board in General Motors lineup, so Chevy, Buick, Cadillac, etc., they have in-car Wi-Fi as a near standard feature at this point, to where you just paying the subscription, but most likely whatever vehicle you have, if you buy a new one, has capability for it. Had it in the Equinox that I had just a couple weeks ago. I've had it in every truck that they brought me. So that's a cool thing from General Motors. With Buick, or with Chevy, and then pushing into Buick, so you're getting that. You're talking about the high country is a 50-odd thousand, 53, 54,000. You're really pushing into that that enclave area with that, and GM's very careful about differentiating those brands. The Enclave is the Chevy Traverse with the Buick label on it. It has a little bit better body as far as the styling goes, right? It's a little more Buick looking, I guess. And the interior is a huge step up in terms of the materials use, the variety, and that sort of thing.
Now, the one thing that I really didn't like about the Traverse, that I would ask for improvement from them, is that I could not find any way to turn off the auto on off.
Oh, right.
And I really didn't like the feel of it. It felt, it didn't have a real smooth stop and start, and it didn't roll right in. When you were ready to go, you'd have to really press down the accelerator a little bit to get it off the on-off. And I looked all over the place and could not figure out how to turn it off. I'm sure there's some kind of trick, but I don't think it should be that hard. I really appreciate it when the automakers give you a button that you can just push and turn it off or on as you like.
That's a General Motors thing. I don't think that I've been in one recently that has a very clear right there auto stop start toggle. You can find it. It's in the infotainment under the vehicle settings, but you have to, it's a menu dig. You have to go through several steps to find it. I do like.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I wanted it to be a lot easier.
I do like, though, flipping that coin. I do like the fact that most every setting in Chevrolet and Buick specifically, but pretty much in my experience, all GM vehicles, every setting has variables. So you can go in and if you think that it's braking too much, thinking it's going to hit stuff, you can lower that tolerance a little bit and give yourself a little more leeway. You can change a lot of things. There are things that won't change because you really shouldn't have access to changing that for safety reasons. But there are, you can't change like the distance settings for adaptive cruise outside of just the follow distance, because those are all speed adapted, right? But there are things like the brake crash mitigation sensitivity, things like that. So if you get flashed in the face all the time because it's maybe a little too oversensitive for where you're driving, you can tone that down a little bit. I really like the feel of the Traverse, and it was my pick for family vehicle. It replaced the Highlander, became my pick, and it was that way for a couple of years until I got into the Hyundai Palisade, and now Kia Telluride. They're just taking everything by storm, but the Traverse is still a really great vehicle. In your driving, did you do any around town and like parking in parking lots, trying to get around in tighter situations?
I felt pretty comfortable parking it. Not driving a whole lot of places these days, but I did try it in a couple of parking lots, and I found that it was really easy to back up. The cameras are excellent, very clear, and pulling in, I didn't have any trouble. You know how some vehicles you're driving, I had the Power Wagon the week before, and that thing is giant. It's a lot more difficult to park. But I thought that the Traverse had good dimensions, and I felt very comfortable parking.
Good. So, anything else you want to mention about it?
It's a good family car.
It is a very good family car. So I'd say, just summarize, I'd say the 2020 Chevrolet Traverse, especially in the all-wheel drive high country that I drove, it had a lot of great amenities, very good driver assist features, excellent Wi-Fi. Love the electronic controls to both open the lift gate as well as to put the third row seat down. Comfortable seating, lots of power outlets everywhere you needed to. I would have liked to seen a couple of more cup holders in the back. The cup holders were very small. And I would also say I'd like for it to be easier to find that auto on-off switch. But overall, a very good family vehicle. Starts at about $53,000. And the doors open wide, so 90 degree on the rear doors, and the rear seats come forward and up to get to that third row, so you have a fair amount of room to get in and out. I wouldn't try to get grandma back there. People, but if you're limber,
don't do that to grandma.
If you're kids, right, limber, you can get in and out of the back pretty easily. So yeah, great. I'm glad you liked it, and cool to hear a different perspective on it, because it's usually just me parroting whatever vehicle.
Absolutely, yes. It was fun to drive. I definitely recommend it. So thanks for listening. This is Kristin.
And this has been Aaron. And this is the Drive Mode Show. Subscribe.
Thanks for watching.